All right, so I just pulled into an estate sale. Never been to one before. I don't know what to expect. I think it's pretty much like a garage sale. My dad tipped me off yesterday. He happened to go to this. I don't know why he went to this, but he mentioned, hey, you know, there's a couple cheap comics. Maybe you might want to take a look. So I figured, why not? So let's go in. I'm not going to record while I'm in there just because I know that there's private people there. You know, I kind of feel a little bit of a way about doing that. So I am going to turn my camera off, and when I get home, I'll show you what I picked up or what I didn't pick up. Who knows? Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It is your good buddy, Philtastic Phil here. I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. Just as I said in the introduction to this video, I went to my first ever estate sale this past weekend, and I picked up some books. And first, before we jumped into it, I'm not one who particularly looks for estate sales. I can't tell you exactly why. Maybe that's a story for another day. I would need my wife's permission to properly tell that story, and if so, I might not do that on YouTube. You might have to see me and meet me face to face to discuss that. But I became aware of this estate sale Saturday night when we went to go visit my dad, and he gave me 2 comics. Now, as far as we know, I've cleared out the comics that were at my father's house that he maybe picked up when I was younger, or that his brother-in-laws, my step-uncles, gifted to him or left with him. If you haven't seen that video, I will put a box somewhere in this general area at the top of the screen. It's interesting. There's actually a cool book in there that I intend to send to CGC if I could get it cleaned. And we'll talk about that in a future video, but go back and watch the past one, because maybe there's some gems in there that I missed that you want to inform me about. So, and these books, I should mention to you, these aren't things I'm regularly collecting. Punisher War Journal. I love the John Romita Jr. artwork on this. That's right, I like John Romita Jr. You know, Hydra and Madam Hydra there. Punisher Guns Blazing. Old school 90s Punisher, why don't we say. And Ghost Rider number 30. Andy Kubert and Joe Kubert worked on this. And I own very little Ghost Rider, at least from this run. Just really, off the top of my head, I know the ones that the X-Men kind of crossed over with the Brood. But Nightmare, the guy in the back here, who at one point was rumored to be the villain in the Multiverse of Madness, is in it. And he is actually one of my, I wouldn't say favorite villains, but he's a villain I like, and I feel he's underused in modern day comics. So my dad said to me, yeah, I got these for like 50 cents, which, look, these aren't key books. 50 cents is probably about right for that. Maybe you might want to check them out. So I made sure I was there bright and early, which for this particular estate sale was 11 a.m. Wasn't too bad. And I was the first one in, and I said to them, hey, can you tell me where the comics are? And I looked, and I got to tell you, and I'm not knocking them whatsoever, but I found the pricing to be very strange. It was either way too high or way too low. And I'll give you an example of too high. They had the wedding of Cyclops and Jean Grey, an issue of X-Men that I know from my youth very, very well. While this might be an event, I guess you could say, even though it's not one that's sought after, you know, I know that it's a good book, a lot of art, a lot of great art in it, you know, classic Jim Lee art. Or no, I'm sorry, I take that back. Andy Kubert was on it by that point. But you can get it really for $2, $4. These people are trying to sell it for $36. $36. Nobody should buy a book like that for $36. And I happened to ask when I was checking out, and I was trying to be respectful as possible, where did you get pricing on this from? And they had said, oh, well, we know a guy, and he priced most of them, but not all of them. So they let me go through all of the boxes, even the ones that weren't priced yet. And I'll show you what I got. I'll be honest with you, nothing I think that's out of the park. I did a little bit of specking, just a little bit. But I think there were some good deals on this. The first, I've never read this book before, but I figured I'd check it out. The Mice Templar. I know that at one point Netflix was going to do a series on this. Don't know if anything ever came of that, if it might be canceled. But this was like $1. Okay. And I should also say this was the second or the final day of the sale, so they were looking to get rid of stuff. The next I knew was a book that I owned, and I knew that you can get, you know, a good amount for this. So I guess you could say I was doing this to flip. The Toxic Avenger, #1, and this is the direct edition. Yeah, you could probably get 10 bucks at least from this, maybe a little bit more. I got it for 2. Not bad. This next one, off the heels of the Werewolf by Night series, which I have not, show rather, which I have not watched yet. I figured this would be a hot book, or might be an important book, and it's in relatively good condition. I didn't open it or take it out. I kind of felt a little bit of a way about that. And that is Giant Size Man Thing, number 3. And it's a pretty good copy, I have to say. I got this for $2. If CLZ, not CLZ, excuse me, if cover price is accurate on this, this is like a $12 book, so great. The next is Blitzkrieg, number 1. Anytime I see like an old war book, especially one where they still show the swastikas, I always jump into it just because you don't commonly see that anymore, even though this is not from the 40s, 25 cents, so what is it, like maybe the early 70s. I figure this is pretty cool, and again, it was just a buck. Don't ignore the sticker on this. Blitzkrieg number 1. Not a great copy. You can see there's spine ticks and everything. Again, it's a buck. This is one I got because, quite frankly, it was a series I bought the first issue of when I was a kid and didn't even realize they made more than that. Ghost Rider 2099, issue number 22. This was $2, and CLZ, I think, CLZ, excuse me, cover price, I think, had it, I want to say $8 or something. I'm going to stop quoting the prices because I'm guessing at this point. This next one was The Nam, number 69, and I know that this is this one and the 2 issues before that were involved the Punisher, and I don't know if that's the first time he was called the Punisher or not. I remember there was some sort of importance. I remember watching that on Reggie. I only got this one because I felt like they were overpriced on the other 2. I remember she wanted like $8 a piece for the other 2 issues, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that, not for this. As you may know, I am working on a run of What If, and this is one I didn't have. What if, this is the second volume, number 45, what if Barbercatch had become the Ghost Rider? Spooky. Right in time for Halloween. Speaking of which, as I get the other pile out, I just want to assure everybody, and this kind of goes into why I usually stay away from estate sales. Before going into it, I took proper precautions. I said a little prayer, just to make sure I didn't bring anything else home with me. Okay, and this was a $1 book. I thought I didn't have it, but it turns out I do. Ghost Rider number 41. So if you're working on a Ghost Rider 1 and you like that book and you want it, let me know. I'll throw that to you. This I thought was a really cool cover, especially for $1. Ghost Rider number 18, and again, according to cover price, this is like a $10 book. So there you go. I think I did pretty well. This is a book that looks so different, and I have one issue of this series before, but it was just really cool. And like I said, it was dirt cheap. Space War number 28. It's old kind of sci-fi, and this is Charlton Comics. I'm trying to move it around to get my focus going here. Just in case, yeah, there's like a giant praying mantis. Yeah, they actually say a huge mantis right on the cover. I don't know why I just tried to do that. I know you couldn't see it. And a giant wasp attacking a spaceship. So that's pretty cool. This was Amazing Spider-Man from the 1999 run, number 1. Again, I'm just trying to... There we go. That's the magic distance. Okay. Yeah. This is the first issue of a series I had numbers 2, 3, and 4 on. I got that at a garage sale. I have that video up too. I don't think YouTube lets me put more than one card in the video. In fact, I'm almost positive of it. So I'll try to put the link at the end of this video in case you missed that one. And this is RoboCop versus the Terminator, numero 1. 2, 3, and 4, as I said, I already have. Walt Simonson art, and I think Frank Miller wrote the story. I'm pretty sure, in fact. Here's another What If, also with the Ghost Rider. It just says, What If, starring Ghost Rider. And this is from Volume 2, March 1997, year I graduated high school, number 95. And let's see. Again, it really doesn't go into the description what's going on in here. I think this is before the what ifs went decidedly darker. But you see a weird-looking Ghost Rider with a Mephisto. You know, the guy who was supposed to be in WandaVision. I think they just came out with another rumor today that Sacha Baron Cohen's playing Mephisto, but we'll see. This is a book that they actually threw in for free. I got to tell you, the woman who I was working with was very, very good. I picked it up and I put it down, and she's like, "Oh no, if you want that," and I said, "I'm okay. I could do without it." She wound up just throwing it in for free. Star Wars Handbook, Volume 3, Dark Empire. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, and I'll be honest with you, I picked this up just for spec. And I was putting it back down because I was like, I don't need to pay money for that. Why am I going to fall into that trap? And they threw me the trap for free. So is it really a trap at that point? Who knows? Bram Stoker's, or is it Bram? I think it's Bram. Dracula, number 2. I have had issue number 1 of the limited series since I was a kid. I really enjoyed the Dracula series, the Dracula film from there, the adaptation. Mike Mignola art, and definitely very spooky. This is still in the bag. It's from Topps Comics. Includes little trading cards there in the back. I may or may not open it up. I'm not quite sure. Gary Oldman as Dracula, and they have a nice rendering here. Roy Thomas actually wrote this as well. Wrote this adaptation. Fun fact, it was actually one of the first rated R movies I saw in a movie theater. This next part, I wouldn't call it a fun fact, but why don't we just say uncomfortable teen moment. My dad took me to see it, and if you have seen that movie, then you know there are some situations where we might see, a boob or fork in it. Needless to say, I remember distinctively, I was probably like maybe 11, 12 years old at the time. Just kind of, when it came up on the screen, I was embarrassed. It was my father. It was just kind of like this. Not taking my eyes off the screen, and I didn't have a hat on. But, yeah. Anyway. Exciting stories from our youth that we remember. This is the final book from that haul. This one, when I saw it, I knew it was an important book. In fact, I think this is one that spiked way, way up a couple months ago, and then is back down to earth. Again, Ghost Rider with Andy and Joe Kubert doing the cover. Number 31. And this was the first appearance, I believe, of, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the Midnight Suns. Yeah, Rise of the Midnight Suns. And look, I know that they just came out with a new book. They came out with a new, they came out with a new book. They're coming out with a new video game, which may or may not be good. I've heard things. But, yeah, I figured, again, it was dirt cheap. Why not? Anyway, look, that was my haul. Again, my first ever estate sale. Yeah, I thought I did okay. Like I said, I'm not a flipper, but there's things in there that I would move. And I only wound up picking up one book that I inadvertently had already. So, to me, that's a success. Tell me what you thought of my haul. Is there anything in here that you thought was particularly good, or anything that was just not so crap? Not so good. Maybe it was just all crap that you disagree with me on. Or do you have any uncomfortable stories from your youth where one of your parents may or may not have taken you to a movie with boobs in it when you were a young teen and didn't quite expect it? Comment below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, I'm nominated for a Comic Book Community Award, and I'll keep saying that until the voting is closed, which is just about a month away. Sorry, my phone ran out of space. Yeah, that's a little scary. As I was saying, thank you again for checking out this video. I appreciate you doing so. I truly hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, the rest of your day, your month, or whatever. Peace, love, and comics. Take care, people.